Let me tell you about the worst moment in my life. It's 2001. I get home from my nightmare commute, and I just open the door. I can see my wife at the top of the stairs, and she's crying. Tina, I say, what's wrong? Your brother, Charlie. It was heart failure. And it hits me. My 37-year-old brother is gone. I already felt beaten down and depressed. My job sucked. My boss hated me. I was 50 pounds overweight, and I sat in Atlanta traffic every day. I thought, how could he leave me? He's left me here alone, completely helpless. I'm Scott Markowitz, and that was 18 years ago. After Charlie's passing, I made a commitment that I would take care of my heart and become successful in honor of Charlie's mentorship that he had provided me during his time here with me. First, through sheer willpower, I lost 50 pounds and got into shape. Then, I focused on my career. By 2003, I had edited hundreds of agency commercials and co-created the flagship Food Network show Dinner Impossible. I thought that would be the end of the story and I would never feel helpless again. But I ended up creating a serious life imbalance. I went from being professionally out of control to being relationally out of control. That was far worse. And deep down, I knew it. I remember thinking, maybe no one else will notice that I was neglecting my wife and my kids. Well, Tina sure noticed. You know, wives have a natural intuition about that kind of thing. In 2010, she threatened to leave me. I was desperate to create control and balance in my life. Then one day I was in my edit bay. My producer Nellie asked me a question about the editing software, and an astonishing thing happened. The Avid software did not crash. No, just kidding. The Avid software always crashed. No, the astonishing thing was actually what Nellie said after I answered her question. She said, wow, you can edit just about anything. In that moment, I came to recognize that if I could edit TV shows, if I could edit video, then I could also edit myself. Boom. From there, I went on to create my self-coaching framework that I call Edit Yourself. I can't explain all of it for you here, but you can start editing yourself today. You just need to understand 3 core things about my framework. Number 1, you need to become honest with yourself and become clear about who you are and who you want to become. 2, you must be familiar with your footage. Our experiences are the footage that we use to make our story, and most of this footage is no good. In a reality TV show, in fact, only about 20 seconds of every hour filmed will be aired. Think about that. That brings us to the 3rd element of the framework. Focus only on the best footage. I used to keep a folder in my Avid system called Odds and Sods. Once I decided that a clip absolutely would have to be used, I would put it in that folder. I also kept a rejected folder for the clips I never wanted to see again. What experiences in your editing system do you want to keep? And what have you got lingering around that should be rejected? Last week, I was coaching a former coworker. He said, Scott, I've been in sales for the last 6 years, but I want to go back to being a colorist, and I'm worried no one will hire me. Well, that was a thought that belonged in the rejected folder. I said, tell me, what new colors have they introduced since 2013? See, he needed to focus on the artistic skills that he had already developed instead of worrying about his time away. I'll tell you one of my old thoughts that needed a good rejecting. When Charlie died, I kept thinking to myself, I've been left here helpless. If I kept that footage in my story, then I would have forever seen myself as a victim. Instead, I want to tell a story, not of helplessness, but of helpfulness. I want to tell a story of empowerment. I want to tell a story of helping other creative people find their worth in the world. So in my re-edit of myself, Charlie's passing is a lesson of love. It's a lesson that everyone around us is precious, with beautiful gifts. It's a lesson that our hearts may sometimes become fragile, but our minds can always be strong.